Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the video. This will be another short video, and the purpose of this video is to introduce as many people as possible to the basics of astrology, the mother of all sciences. So let's begin. Horoscope. This is the topic of the video. What is a horoscope? And as with anything, I always like to look at the root of the word. Now, the word horoscope comes from Old English, horoscopus. I'm sorry, I'm reading it with my accent. I don't know if this is the right accent for Old English. But as you may know, Old English was a little bitsy weird compared to nowadays English. And it came from French. The French term came from Latin. And the Latin term came from the Greek horoscopus. No, sorry, horoscopos. Now, horoscopos is a combination of two words, hora and skopos. And hora means time. By extension, it also means hour. And skopos means observer or watcher. So, horoscopos, this is the singular. The plural is horoskopoi in Greek. It translates to the time of the observer or the time of the watcher. It also means nativity. So I would go as far as to call it, to translate it to the time that is observed. It makes more sense to how we speak nowadays, to how we phrase words nowadays, to our minds at this point, to frame it like that. So it basically means nativity, hour, time, the time of the observer, the hour of the observer, the time or hour that is observed. And why is it observed? For astrological purposes. Now, a horoscope has multiple other names, and I'll give you the full list. It's quite long. So it's a natal chart, astrological chart, birth chart, astro chart, celestial map, sky map, star chart, cosmogram, vitasphere, radical chart, radix, chart wheel, or simply chart. Now, obviously, everyone will use whatever term fits them best. I use most of the times the term birth chart or natal chart or native chart. I saw other astrologers who prefer using the term horoscope most of the times. Now, all you've got to keep in mind is that it's basically the same thing. And in Hindu astrology, it's called Kundali or Kundili. And another term for it is Lagna chart. Now, this is terminology. So what exactly is a birth chart? It's basically a drawing. Now, in order to see someone's horoscope, we've got to know, I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes here. We've got to know the time and place of birth, the exact time and place of birth. because we've got to understand how the sky looked like above the event that we want to study, whether it's a birth, whether it's a marriage, whether it's any other kind of event. Charts are studied for multiple reasons, for multiple types of events. So you can have your own birth chart as a person, but so can a particular event in itself. Even countries have their own birth charts and so on. So after we know the exact time and place of the birth of the event, we then draw a map of the sky, a map of how the sky looked like at that particular time above that particular location. And thus, the astrologer can see the positions of the planets and interpret them. So basically, it's a divination method, a divination tool, a divination art, a divination science. Use whatever, again, terminology you want to use here. It's basically divination. It's knowledge. And it's astrology. It's the language of the stars. Now, the astrologer speaks this language and then translates this language to the inquirer. So the horoscope is basically a stylized map of the skies, of the sky, over a specific location at a certain point in time. It's a map of the sky that translates as a map of life. Now, for further study of a birth chart, you've got to know some other terms and you've got to study astrology in depth. Astrology is not as simple as a sun sign or an ascendant. Astrology is a very complex science, and this is one of the beautiful aspects of it, the fact that it's so complex and offers so much insight into a lot of things. Now, I don't think I will go further than this in this particular video. I will go into further detailed aspects of what a chart is in other videos. This is basically an introduction for people who are not yet accustomed to all the details of astrology, because, as I said, astrology is not just the sun sign. Okay.